What is up, YouTube? So I recently just got my hair transplant consultation done, and I'm about 6 months out from my hair transplant. But I just want to give you guys an update on how everything's going, how the consultation should look when you're getting your hair transplant. In this video, I'm going to go through everything you should expect from a consultation, from medical history to drawing in the hairline to microscopic evaluation on the hair density and how much hair you might actually be losing in the future after the hair transplant. And we are on our way to almost 400,000 subscribers, so click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more content like this. Hope you find this video as interesting as I did making it, because it has been a journey getting to this point. So enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
A few moments later.
All right, Zeph, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I'm glad you're here. We're going to do a consultation, A to Z. I'm going to get some numbers, and then we're going to do microscopic evaluation.
The only medication I'm taking is for my hair itself. I'm taking topical dutasteride and topical finasteride, and then minoxidil.
Any other medication for other purposes? Do you have any medical issues?
I do not.
Any surgeries in past?
No.
Let's talk about your family pattern. Could be either side of family.
I believe it was my mom's side, my mom's uncle.
Donor density of hair looks pretty good to me.
Do you think it's pretty high,
It's
normal?
Let me tell you the exact number. You have 2.2 hair per square millimeter. It's a little bit above normal. It's good. It's really good. This device checks the looseness of the scalp. It's called laxometer. We don't do the strip method anymore, but we still check this in case we need to do any procedure in the future that requires removing of the skin. So the class of hair loss, you class 3. I know you've done something to improve this, and it would have been probably worse, but the pattern is still showing. So you're heading toward class 6. And your hair color is light brown or dark brown when it gets longer?
I feel like it's darker.
Dark brown.
If I keep it out of the sun, it tends to be a little bit darker.
Is your hair straight or wavy?
I believe it's straight. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't had it long enough in a very long time.
The next thing we're going to do is a microscopic evaluation.
Sweet.
So when we lose hair in a pattern baldness, we don't just lose a hair all of a sudden. Hair has to go through a process called miniaturization. The thick hair becomes smaller and finer to the point that we don't see them. So if you have more than 20% of miniaturized hair at any area, that's a sign of active hair loss. I know where you're going to lose hair and what's going to be the future pattern of hair loss. Ready?
Yep, let's do it. Yeah, this thing's sweet.
So this is your donor hair, the better hair quality that we have. So tell me what you see here. See the grouping of hair? Those are follicular units, the grouping of 2s and 3s.
Oh, really
cool. A lot of 3s, see? A lot of 3s, some 2s. And your thickness of hair is good. It's average and a little bit even better than average. These little factors are always important for us to know what kind of volume of hair and what kind of coverage we can give you.
What kind of groupings are beneficial?
The more the better. When we're talking about hair transplant, we're talking about grafts. Each graft is a follicular unit. So if you have a lot of 3 hair per unit, you get a lot more hair as opposed to somebody who has a lot of 2s or singles. So this is all good.
What's the most you can get up to?
What's the most number of hair per
for a graft?
grouping? We had like 5 hair per group.
Oh, really?
Which is unusual. Not many people have 5 hair per group. The idea is that you don't have miniaturization on the back, and now you see what I'm talking about when we're talking about miniaturization. See those? Those are all miniaturized hair. In front, you don't have any of those thick hairs that you could see in the back. So that's almost 100% miniaturization. Keep going back. You see some of them are becoming thicker, and when we get to the top section, you can feel them that they're getting better. And now you'll have some thick hair, but you still probably have 70% miniaturization and 30% good hair, healthier hair. Some pockets are better than others. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do check the edge of the crown to see how much more you will expand this area. So this feels like this is your edge of it. So you kept your hair short, so it's hard to see that visual edge of balding, but I'm assuming this is the area. I keep going down to see where we start seeing healthy hair as opposed to a mix of thin and thick hair. See how it's getting better? And now, boom, here. This is all healthy. See how dark and thick and coarse they are? So you have another probably centimeter or 2 on the back that you probably lose in the future. All right, so tell me about your hair loss and what's bothering you. What's your goal? What are you trying to achieve?
I just want a natural look, something that looks decently full through the crown and through the entire scalp. I'm not someone that really cares for like the deepest, straightest hairline.
Good.
I don't really care for that.
Yes.
Something that just looks realistic, and I don't care if there's some light recession. I want to look my age, but I also want it to look a lot more fuller and denser.
You're very realistic. Ready to design it together?
Yeah, let's do this.
We're designing the hairline. We're talking about the proportionalness of the face. So one of the rules is like tip of the nose to chin should be something close to hairline to eyebrows. Sometimes we can go a centimeter above that, which looks normal. Depends on what looks normal in different people. Are you overall happy with the existing hairline that you have, the trace of the hairline? You don't have a solid hairline, but you can see the trace of your hairline.
I don't mind the trace of my hairline that much. I just don't know what my hairline was originally. And so I'm not sure what would look the best, whether that be straight across or like a widow's peak look.
I'm going to connect this very irregularly. quickly. So what I'm giving you to start with is a kind of mature hairline. We have room to go down a little bit. I prefer not to if you're happy with this. Ready to see this?
Yeah, that's crazy. It's almost to the point where prior to recession almost. At least
Yeah.
it would look like where it
Pretty much.
almost was. Would you be working on corners too?
Your temples are not too bad. You may need it at some point, but I see a good trace of it. And again, it would have been nice if your hair was longer so I could see it.
I know. I wish it was longer too.
I think when you grow it longer, it will be a lot better than this. I'm a big fan of restoring the temporal points whenever it's needed. But if that's something that you thought about it, we can discuss it.
I definitely thought about temples and how it looked to like a new hairline, where it's like the hairline's in, but the temple's back, and it gives you that.
But your hairline is not that back. When hairline goes back,
Appreciate
it's for this basically is like a 2-day procedure. You want to do the front and crown. The front takes a good 2,000 grafts here and probably need another 1,500 plus ish for the crown. That will give you a full head of hair. So the procedure that we do for somebody like you is called follicular unit extraction. In your case, it's going to be a 2-day procedure, but each day is pretty much similar. The first day that you come, we want you to come with your hair at their ideal length, hopefully, so we can not lose any landmarks. I design the hairline and everything, get to procedure room. Then we give you sedation. We usually give Valium and laughing gas. So at the beginning of the day, you start breathing from this machine a little bit high, so you don't feel anything at all during the procedure. I may reinforce the local every few hours. You should not feel those. And then I start making sites. So at the beginning of the day, I make all the design for both 2 days of those small incisions at the beginning of the first day. So the direction, distribution of the hair and everything is done at the beginning of the first day. Put you on face down position, we start extracting hair under microscope. So during that time, a team will going to be working on your head. The site's already done, the design is already there. So we're going to start extracting hair under microscope with a special device. And as we remove the grafts, one of the technicians remove the grafts for me that are extracted. Another one come and sort them under microscope. And usually 1 or 2 technicians start placing them into the holes that we already created. And we know exactly which hair goes to which hole. So we have special sites for single hair, for 2s and 3s. So it's all designed. Everybody knows what needs to be done. It's like a basically orchestra. And the procedure is called simultaneous extraction and placement because we don't want to keep the live tissue out of body for a long time. That's why we believe that every single hair will grow. We don't lose anything in the process. Your job is just to sit still and be comfortable. So we play your favorite music. Then you have your lunch break. You have a dessert break. When the procedure is over, you have a bandage around the scalp where you go home with. And you come back the day after procedure. In your case, 2-day procedure. After the second day, we still bring you back for hair wash. We want to wash it for you. We want to show you how to wash at home. Give you shampoo, sponge, and everything that you need. 4 days, you can go back to normal washing. Yeah.
But 2 separate extraction days.
Exactly. So even each day, like middle of the day when you have your lunch break, we don't have any grafts usually sitting out waiting to be placed. We place everything.
How long are those sessions? About 2,000?
8 to 9 hours. 8 or 9, yeah.
So it'd be about 8 hours one day and then 8 hours next. So, and then how long after the procedure would you, with like exercise?
Well, depends on what you want to do. If you do light exercise, you can start it immediately after the first day after procedure. If you want to do heavy exercise, we are concerned that you may by accident touch the transplanted area. Within the first 4 days, if you touch anything, you may lose them. After day 4, you can do anything. So day 5 and after, you pretty much can do everything. The only limitation is sun exposure. The first 6 months, you have to avoid sun exposure. A week to 2 weeks after procedure, you look pretty decent because the new hair is exactly the same length of the rest of the hair, and they're all growing at the same length for a couple of weeks. And then most people at 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they start losing their transplanted hair shafts. When you lose them, you go back to where you are. And then you have to be waiting for a couple of months until the new hair starts growing. Usually at 2 to 3 months, you start seeing new baby hair start growing. They become thicker and longer over time. At probably 6 to 8 months, you have enough long hair so you can start combing and styling it the way you want. The solid hairline, you probably see it at 8 months. At 12 months, you see full result. Occasionally, within the first few months after procedure, patients may experience some pimples on the transplanted or donor area. Those are called folliculitis. They come and go, and they won't affect the growth of hair. If they're bothering you, you can use hot compress, and that will take care of them. Or you can come back here, we can incise them for you. The donor area, if you ever shave your head, there is a small chance that the sites that hair was removed may look a little bit lighter. It's called hypopigmentation. You have to go really close to shave to see those, if you have them. Most people don't see them. Also, you may have shock loss. Hair that you have on top, as you noticed in microscopic evaluation, they're not like and healthy hair. They're 20% miniaturization, meaning that you have active hair loss. Sooner or later, you may lose them. You're holding onto them with medication, but any stress may accelerate that loss. That's called shock loss. And to avoid that, we want people to be on finasteride. And I prefer you to be on something oral, at least for the first few months after procedure, to just lock them in place.
The other thing is like I'm using something topically. I
Right.
probably want to go to something orally, so I'm
You
not
can
constantly
topical,
touching my head.
topical. You can resume them after 7 days from procedure because right after procedure you don't want to put anything on the transplanted area. What we do in our office, I recommend finasteride oral at least for 6 months. Then you can switch to whatever you want. But the first 2 months after procedure, I want patients to be on our herbal products too. And this has saw palmetto, pumpkin seed oil, and biotin, vitamin D, iron, and zinc. These are the 4 elements that are essential for hair, in addition to basically herbal DHT blockers.
Sweet.
Make sure we're not missing anything.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Anything?
Like, is my entire scalp going to be transplanted, or is it just going to be like pockets where you see where you're growing?
But it's going to be different densities though. So we place them strategically, right? So we don't want to have the same density all over. In the very front, when I put the hairline, you maximize the density. It's probably going to be 50% density of whatever your average had because your hair is thick. That 50% looks pretty decent. And then you may need some reinforcement down the road here, but for now you may not need anything. After a year when everything grows, depends on how you comb it, you can cover pretty much everything. So this 2-day procedure is giving you full head of hair with the top being the least transplanted because you have the best quality hair. Having said that, down the road, if you stop taking all medications and say 10 years from now, you're going to end up with just transplanted hair, you lose everything that you have, you may need some reinforcement.
And then would there be more grafts to pull from with my donor?
You probably have easily 8,000 grafts.
Oh, really?
No problem at all. So we're talking about 4,000 grafts for this procedure. You may not need the entire.
So my donor is pretty dense and healthy.
Your donor is really good. Even if it wasn't, you can see your beard is looking pretty
Start pulling from the beard?
You don't have to. In your case, we don't have. But people who don't have enough scalp donor hair, we do that on a regular basis.
Really cool. And with the realistic of the hairline, do you guys put single grafts around the hairline?
Individual hairs are going to be singles. Followed right behind them, we put 1 layer of 2s. And behind them, we put mix of 2s and 3s and 4s, whatever we have. So this is all very important because if you put too much of a single hair, your hairline won't look solid. If you put not enough single hair, the 2s and 3s on the back may look pluggy. Some people need more, some people need less.
I think that's it. That's what I was curious about.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.